Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. The number one Shack in the family. What's going on, y'all? Shabbat shalom, brother Shalak. What's happening tonight? Hopefully everybody's good. Thing together, man. Get this thing together. Shalak, y'all. I'm out here. I'm professional as ever. Fixing the camera while I'm live. Ain't that something? Shalak, y'all. It's a little better. All right, there we go. There we go. Shalom to the fam, man. Come on in. Food is still warm. Drinks is being served. You dig what I'm saying? Hopefully you just wiped your feet when you came in. Let me check. Hold on. Some of y'all slipping now. Some of y'all slipping. Y'all just ran through the back door. I mean, what happened? Maybe I need to refresh a little something. Let me see. Wipe them feet, brothers and sisters. Come on now. Y'all know how they do me and they do us. Looking a lot better now. Looking a lot better. A little echo. Let me see. How about now? How about now? I'm testing out this new mic, so you know there might be a little audio issues. Man, put a 7 in the chat, Shalak, if that's better. Shabbat shalom to my brother Bayan, Naftali, Karatazah, Kohath. Shalom to you. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom, man. Blessings to everybody. Is the echo gone? I'm listening for it. I don't hear it. Blessings to everybody. Is the echo gone? I'm listening for it. I don't hear it. Blessings to everybody. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I got you, bro. It's because I was listening through my phone to hear the sound. So what you're hearing the reverb from my phone. But otherwise, man, we good. We good. All right. Shalom, brother Lee. Everybody else, man, to slide on there. Shalom, Elder Rasha. Uziel, shalom to you brothers, man. Shabbat shalom. Here we go. All right. You know what time it is. I was hollering at my brother Bayan earlier, man. And we were just talking about how much is going on in the earth, man. It's nonstop. Nonstop. What's happening in this earth right now, man. So let's open up with a scripture. Open up with a couple scriptures, man, so we can set the tone for the night as usual. Set the tone for the night. You dig? And we're gonna look at Luke 21. And let's read 36. Luke 21:36. It says, "Watch ye therefore and pray always." You know, sometimes we don't always keep that consciousness in our minds to constantly be in prayer. And it doesn't necessarily always mean that you have a fundamental prayer that you have to be, you know, in the moment, facing east, on your knees, hands raised, the whole nine. Your prayers is also part of your meditation and your meditative thoughts. You know, that's why when we read in let's read in let me open up one more tab. When we read in Joshua 1:8, right? Joshua 1:8 says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth." So we know, everybody knows, it's in this house. Y'all know that this is a book of law. It's not a book of religion. It's not a book of philosophy. It's not a book of the white man. It's not a book of lies. It's not a book of stories. This is the book of law. In particular, the Torah. The first 5 books. Then you have what's known as the Tanakh, which is the rest of the Old Testament prophets, right? And then we have the new, quote unquote, New Testament. But the scriptures is acknowledging that this is a book of law. Not only law, but prophecy, history, judgments of the Most High, you know. But it says that this shouldn't depart out of our mouths. This should constantly be in our conversation. This should be constantly something that we're utilizing to master this earth through the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding that the Most High gives us, right? It says, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. See, your prayers also is part of your meditation, your thought process, you know, in your individual communications with the Most High. We know that the scriptures say 3 times a day, from Daniel to David. You know, there's plenty of examples of the fundamentals of prayer. You know, even in Acts, it tells you that the hour of prayer is at 3 p.m. So we know that there's a strict, rigid way of doing formal and customary prayer. But at the same time, you know, when it says pray without ceasing, does that mean you can't get up, you can't move, you got to constantly be facing the east or whatever respective, you know, because if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere, you're going to be facing, not in America, but if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere of the earth, you'll be facing west to Jerusalem. But nonetheless, that just means that our minds have to be conditioned. Our minds have to be constantly focused in on communication with our Father. Not just when we get in trouble, not just when the cops is behind you and you like, oh Lord, please, let them, you know, my license is suspended. I hope they don't. Not when you just need that job. Not when you went and go bought your little lotto scratch offs. That ain't the only time you're supposed to be meditating and communicating with the Most High. You always want the Most High to direct our steps, direct our paths. So that's part of being in prayer mode, right? So it says, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt have thy way, thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So prosperity and success does not come by listening to TD Fakes, does not come by listening to Cash Flow Dollar, does not come by listening to Joel Oldstein. You know what I'm saying? Or Jimmy Swaggart and the rest of these damn bloodthirsty demons that's out there. What's the other cat's name? Gino Jennings and the rest of them. No, I'll take that back. Gino Jennings doesn't preach prosperity gospel, so I'll take that back from him. Now, he does teach some lies. There's no question about that. But the rest of these prosperous, greedy dogs, as the Most High calls them, you're not going to get it from going to sit in the Sunday services every Sunday. Our prosperity and success comes from our ability to meditate and communicate with the Most High day and night, and following after the ways of the Lord from all that's written in this book. Getting back to Luke, verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, right? That means that we always have to be thinking about the Most High, praying for understanding, praying for knowledge, praying for wisdom, praying for the fear of the Lord, praying for increased faith, praying for wisdom and knowledge to keep us stable during these times and strength to salvation, praying for our enemies, praying for our sins to be forgiven and the sins of our forefathers and foremothers, praying that our nation comes together in righteousness and the truth under the rod of the law, praying for the deliverance from our enemies, praying for the downfall of America, praying for the downfall of Esau and the rest of the heathen that's been ruling over us with rigor. You understand? That's where we are at right now. Why is this important? That ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass. I know for sure we all want to escape the hell that's going to we didn't even really hit Jacob's trouble yet. You know, when we're reading about Matthew 24, and we're reading about earthquakes in diverse places, nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, wars, rumors of wars, famine, pestilence. We're reading about all these things. Remember, it said that these are the beginnings of sorrows. I I mean, the engine is just getting turned on. The car is still getting warm. You can't even put it in drive yet. And we're seeing all hell breaking loose in the earth on a regular. And the one thing that we need to be praying is that we can be accounted to be worthy to escape all these things that's going to come to pass. The Most High said that even the time is going to be cut short for the elect's sake. The Most High also said, man, no flesh will be saved if he didn't cut the time short. We're going to make it out by the hair of the skin of our teeth and the hair on our scalps. That thin. So reading again, it says, watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. To be able to stand in the glory with Yahweh Shai, to be able to stand in glory with our Savior, man, that's going to be unbelievable, man. I pray that all of us, are worthy to escape in order to receive the blessings that are bestowed upon our people. Let me get another one in Luke. Luke 4. Before, let me see. I wouldn't look for. That's okay. I thought I had another one in there. But let's go to 2 Ezra 16. 2 Ezra 16. Let's read this. Okay. 2 Ezra 16. We're gonna read 35, and we're gonna just read down some. It says, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Well, who are the servants of the Lord? We know that the children of Israel are the servants of the Most High. This is words of preservation for our people to know and understand what to expect and what to be looking forward to in these last days. Everybody else, the rest of the nations, are not going to be privy to understanding what is going to be happening on the earth. That's why when we read in the classic, Psalms 147, 19 and 20, that he have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. That's why they come up with various different religious doctrines. That's why they come up with historical lies. That's why they come up with all this disinformation, because they don't understand the words of the Most High. That's why they got these mobilized bots out here teaching religion and false doctrine to our people through these seminary schools and Bible colleges, running out there preaching death to our people, idol worship, replacement theology, and all this other folly, because they don't understand the words of the Lord. The Lord's not dealing with them in that fashion, right? So it says, hear now these things and understand them. Remember, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding, ye servants of the Lord. So this is strictly for us to learn. Let me get one more precept in Isaiah. We know Leviticus 25:55 is a precept regarding being a servant of the Most High. Isaiah 49:3 says, and said unto me, thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. So the glory of the Most High is only going to come through Israel. Thus saith the Lord. These heathen that's running around here down south in the Bible Belt Baptist churches, handling snakes and getting bit and acting a damn fool, bouncing and prancing, that's not the glory of the Lord at all. The Holy Ghost parties that's happening every Sunday, that's not the glory of the Lord. That's weeping and gnashing of teeth, the foaming at the mouth, wigs falling off, and dancing and prancing up and down the pulpits and doing a jig and catching seizures. Those are the type of spirits, man, Yahweh was casting up out of these people. And they saying that that's the glory of the Lord, man. They glorifying the Lord with the tambourines, with the, with the organs, the drums and all that. I mean, get out of here with that. The servants of the Lord said, it's your turn, our turn, to listen and understand. To listen and understand. I forgot. This is the one I want. So when it says, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord, meaning the children of Israel, the only way we're going to get understanding is what? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Now, how else are we going to get understanding? Is it Psalms 110? Hold on. I think it's 111. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Psalm 111 and verse 10. It says, the fear of the Most High, Yahweh, is the beginning of wisdom. It starts with fearing Yahweh. That's when we start beginning our journey in embracing and understanding and nurturing wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do what? His commandments. His praise endure forever. We cannot receive understanding from the Most High, a good understanding that is, until we're keeping the commandments of the Most High. So this is the instruction. To hear the words of the Most High, to understand them. The only way we're going to understand them is the way. Keep the commandments of the Most High. Then we'll have a good understanding as we continue on reading. Ye servants of the Lord. So Israel has to be included in this verse. Keeping of the commandments have to be understood as part of this verse. Fearing the Most High has to be part of understanding this verse, and knowing and understanding the times that we're living in right now. No other way you're going to be able to break down and understand any of these prophecies, any of the understandings that's happening during the times right now at all. Verse 36, behold, the word of the Lord, receive it, believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. So the Most High said, dispel, get rid of, and leave off from any of these false gods, deities, understandings, and doctrines that come after the ways of the heathen that aren't founded in the word of the Lord. Remember, Isaiah 8:20, if it's not according to this word, there is no light in them. If you cannot establish anything out the word, forget about it. Because there's probably some sort of demonic or some sort of evil force behind it. Verse 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So the Most High said, man, the plagues, the war, everything has already been sent forth. They're not going to slack. They all have their due time when they're going to hit. But it said they coming. And notice how constantly, weekly, monthly, yearly, things are constantly unfolding. New things are arising. Historical type landmarks were constantly, I always talk about it. When you talk about unprecedented, first time ever, blah, these type of headlines that we read, those are coming from the Lord, and it's establishing a new precedent of time. This time is going down as far as America is concerned, and the rising up of our people. So it says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child come forth, they slack not a moment. So we know that as we're reading and we're understanding and we're observing and we're seeing these things happening throughout the earth, we know that it's to be comparable to a woman in her last 2 or 3 hours of childbirth and child pains and bringing forth the deliverance of that man child. It says they come forth, they slack not a moment. That's why they be telling the women, count how many times before, how much time has elapsed between contractions? How long was that one? Is she dilating? You understand what I'm saying? This is how we're looking at and observing what's going on the earth right now. So we know things are happening rapid pace, constantly moving. Something's always going on in the earth. and we can understand and see what's going on. 39. Even so, shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So this is going to let you know, man, the whole world is going to be in mourning. The whole world is going to be in hell. It's not going to be some escape route that you're going to find. I don't give a damn where you go. You can, I can go to the mountains of damn Montana. There's going to be some mourning there somehow, some way. I can go fly out and go live in the jungles in Belize somewhere. Guess what? The Lord said, even so shall not the plagues be slack that come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn. That everybody is going to witness and see how much hell is going to come on this damn earth. And sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Whether you're personally going through it or not, your family's going to be calling you. Your brothers and sisters in the truth going to be calling you because they're going through hell. Sorrows is going to be increasing, man. It's not happy days here again. Not right now. That's why we cherish and we move into understanding why the Most High said, well, listen, you come together not for the better, but for the worse. Right? So when the Most High gives us feast days and gives us opportunities to congregate and come together, the Lord said, enjoy them times. Because when that's over, you're going right back into hell again. And there may be times that you're not even going to have opportunity to do that. Because we're going to be moving like pilgrims in the earth, as we're going to read. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth. So there are going to be times where you got to be constantly moving, homeless, nomads, calling no place home. Who knows where any of us may end up when this is all said and done. The Lord said, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. So for anybody that's out there talking about, oh, Israelites talking about prepping and for what? The faith for the, yeah, I agree with all of that. But guess what? How else do you make ready to thy battle? It said make you ready. Spiritually, yes. Physically, yes. Should you also have provisions in line? If the scriptures tell us the wisdom and knowledge to be the stability of that times, and we read about how our forefathers, in particular Joseph, got ready and got right before it was all said and done, hey, how was he going to make ready? You got to prepare and make sure that, your families are secure. If you don't have a family, make sure that you got your mind on in the spiritual mode of understanding and knowing what times that we're living in right now. I'm not saying everything's going to crash down tomorrow, but the writing is on the wall. Whether it's one letter at a time, but the writing is there. It's like when Daniel read the writing on the wall to King Nebuchadnezzar, or was it Belshazzar? He told him, man, you about to be overthrown. The king is going to come from the east, man. The Persians and the Medes are going to come over here and destroy you. Well, the Most High is giving us writing on the wall all day long. Let's continue. That's all we needed. That's all we needed, man. Let's go ahead on and let's get to it. So y'all seen the headlines. Russia's making a declaration. They said, hey, if we don't win this thing, nukes is coming out. But I said that a long time ago. I said, well, do you think that Putin is going to sit back and just take an L? Yeah, there you go, Natalia. You know what time it is. That's right. You think Putin's just going to take an L? Do you think that there's an advantage that he can't always pull out the back of his pocket and say, you know what, the heck with it. Before I take this loss, I might as well go ahead and blow everything up. I mean, he's in his 70s. He done lived his life. What else has he got to lose? So let's look at this. All right. Putin's secret attack plan would be a Ukrainian nightmare. So they're concerned about his next form of strategy. The Ukrainians is over there getting pounded out right now. All that madness they were talking about, now the truth is coming out. You're going to see, in a couple more slides. Zelensky is begging for help. And that's even causing friction in between NATO, because NATO, you know, couple of the countries in NATO was like, hey, we didn't help as much as we can. And the way it's looking, Russia's over here winning, and we don't want no problems if Russia comes out here on top, because we, you know, still rely on them for energy. And we know they can bomb us up off the map too. So look at this. Ukraine is braced for a major new offensive that could begin within weeks. One of President Zelensky's key insiders told the Daily Beast that they expect a looming Russian move to encircle the country with a simultaneous attack on 3 fronts. So they're saying that, you know, when it gets cold, ground's frozen, you know, right now it's just about missiles, it's about drones, you know, the warfare going on the ground is kind of slowed down, right? And now that Russia, you know, we read last week, Russia was starting to bring out the big guns. Remember, it said it was bringing out it was bringing out submarines, it was bringing out missiles, it was bringing out all kind of stuff now. They just sat back and waited. And now it's time. Now they're getting ready to encircle Ukraine on 3 fronts and start bombing the hell out of them and start taking back regions over there. That's the plan. We'll see if it goes down. Rustem Umerov, a member of the team negotiating with Russia, said the Kremlin was preparing for a fresh advance, which could begin as soon as February. That's basically the anniversary time of the war itself. The assault could come from the north over the Belarusian border, from the Russian strongholds in eastern Ukraine, and from the south, where the Black Sea Peninsula of Crimea was seized by Vladimir Putin's forces in 2014, and nearby cities of Melitopol and Zaporizhia are now also under Russian control. Russians are encircling us from 240 degrees, attacking from the Black Sea, from Belarus and the Luhansk and Donetsk regions, Umerov said. So what happened to, you know, Russians have, you know, lost 100,000+ troops. Putin is losing the war. He's embarrassing himself, all this other stuff. My, how things have changed. My, how things are all of a sudden now looking like, whoops, maybe we wasn't getting the whole story. Maybe how all of a sudden now Ukraine is taking all these L's now, and they're scared. Look at this. Putin could be ready to announce a second mobilization drive. That's another headline. Putin ally warns, look at it. Putin ally warns NATO of nuclear war if Russia is defeated in the Ukraine. They've given them ultimatum. They said, look, we'd rather hit the nukes than take a loss to NATO and to Ukraine. Now, this is an ally. This is an insider. That's why I said an insider. An ally of President Vladimir Putin warned NATO on Thursday that a defeat of Russia in Ukraine could trigger a nuclear war, while the head of the Russian Orthodox Church said the world would end if the West tried to destroy Russia. So they've got the clergy over there backing this up, standing firm on saying, look, this will be the end of the world. This will be Armageddon. This will be what the prophecy says in regards to the end of this world and the beginning of it that followeth, which belongs to Jacob. So this is how we know, even in prophecy, what nation and what people are in control of the narrative as it pertains to the end of the world. Second Ezra, oops. Second Ezra 6 and 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So this ain't the end of the world. It's the end of somebody's world. It's the end of somebody's kingdom. It's the end of, and we know who that is. But it's been prophesied that there is going to be the end of one world, and there's going to be a beginning of one that followeth. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world. So we know that according to prophecy, Esau would be in control of the world. Going back to Job 9:24. That's why there's no mystery. When the scriptures say the wicked, the earth's been given into the hand of the wicked, Well, all we got to do is find out, well, who's controlling the earth? Who's controlling the world? And then once you add all them pieces up together, then we see that Esau is the end of the world. Well, he's in control of the earth. He's in control of the world. Esau is going to be the one that's going to ignite and end everything as it stands. Again, proving who the so-called white man is. That Esau is the so-called white man. Why? Because he will be in control at the end. And now we're reading about headlines from the Russian Orthodox Church talking about it's going to be the end of the world if the West attacks Russia. So both Edomites, whether it's Russia or whether it's the U.S., they both from the same seed. They try to lie and hide behind countries of origin to say that they're different. Oh, I'm French, I'm Scandinavian, I'm Slovakian, I'm Russian, I'm American. You understand what I'm saying? I'm South African. No, you're all Esau. You all stem from the seed of Esau. You're all Edom. Transparent, red skin, blood shows forth through the skin. People. And you will trigger the end of the world. They will trigger the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. But the Jacobites, the Israelites, the 12 tribes, we're going to rebuild and we're going to begin the new world. And they're going to rebuild. Thus saith Isaiah in the Most High. That's all I need there. Let's get back over here. I just want to precept, just moving in the spirit. So let's read that again. An ally of President Vladimir Putin warned NATO on Thursday that a defeat of Russia in Ukraine could trigger a nuclear war, while the head of the Russian Orthodox Church said the world would end if the West tried to destroy Russia. Such apocalyptic rhetoric is intended to deter the U.S.-led NATO military alliance from getting even more involved in the war on the eve of a meeting of Ukraine's allies to discuss sending Kiev more weapons. I mean, what are they doing with all the weapons they've been had? They running right through them, man. And they get, we need more. But the explicit recognition that Russia might lose on the battlefield marked a rare moment of public doubt from a prominent member of Putin's inner circle. So the promise of, well, not necessarily, we know the scriptures prophesying promise of thermonuclear war. That's the only way this thing is going to come. Who's in control of that type of weaponry? The so-called white man. Who's using that rhetoric in their talk now? The so-called white man. We ain't heard about this type of nuclear threats and all this other stuff since World War II, when the so-called white man pushed the panic button and did it. Again, the white man is in control of technology, threats, weapons, and the whole nine. But the Most High said he's going to live by the sword. So be that as it may, we're seeing he's getting ready to go and live by the means. Let's continue. Look at it. NATO allies pledge more arms for Ukraine. Germany's holding out, though. See, that's where you see a little schism going on amongst NATO. See, and then we read like Amos 3. Two can't walk together lest they be agreed. Everybody needs to be on one accord, according to 1 Corinthians 1:10. So when this happens, what did Mark say? I believe it's in Mark 3 about a kingdom divided against itself can't stand. Is that right? Where's that at? Here we go. Mark 3:24. A kingdom divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. So what does this mean for NATO? Because they're not all on one accord. Now you're starting to see them breaking ranks a little bit. Germany's like, hold on. Hey, we gave them enough. NATO saying, no, give them more. America saying, give more. We just pledged more billions to them. We just got through saying we're going to commit and send tanks to them. We're sending everything over there. So NATO's on board, but Germany, who was part of NATO, said, I don't know about that. So now that we're seeing a schism within NATO, that means that there's vulnerabilities even within NATO. So let's see where that goes. Western allies pledged billions of dollars in weapons for Ukraine on Thursday, and some promised to send the tanks Kiev has requested If Berlin agrees, but Germany gave no sign of lifting a veto on deliveries it fears would provoke Moscow. Do you see that? Germany's like, look, we're we're scared of Russia. The only reason why we over here, they still got flashbacks from World War II. You dig what I'm saying? That's when Russia overtook Germany during that time, in that whole war with Hitler and all of that, and Stalin. You understand? Germany still shook off of that. They like, hold on, we got vetoes right now. We're not looking to deliver tanks to let Russia know that we helped Ukraine. We don't want to provoke Moscow. NATO's looking at Germany like, man, quit being a punk and come help. But look at this. The issue looks to set dominant Friday talks in Germany between Western allies and Ramstein, Washington's main European air base. Fearing winter will give Russian forces time to regroup and unleash a major attack, Ukraine is pushing for the German-made Leopard battle tanks, which are held by an array of NATO nations, but whose transfer to Ukraine requires Germany's approval. Look at this. Our people are dying every day, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told German ARD television on late Thursday. We haven't heard that before, have we? But we sure have been reading a whole lot of headlines here at DSTM. We sure have been talking about things ain't adding up, man. They keep talking about how good and how much Ukraine is over here smacking up and knocking down Russia and tearing them up and all that other stuff. And I'm saying, why they keep saying nobody's dying? Remember, they just had that headline talking about Russia launched 100 some odd missiles and nobody got hurt. 6 people got injured, but nobody died. Remember that? And I said, does that make sense? Did the headline alone? Now you're hearing Zelensky saying, our people are dying every day. So who's winning this war? Where's this whole thing going? Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, part of Russia, part of Gog and Magog. When we're reading about Gog and Magog, that's one united power known as Russia, right? So Ukraine is going to get back in line. And if it means, and that's why Russia said, before I lose, I'd rather launch nukes. That's how strong the prophecy of the Most High is. Russia ain't coming out this thing taking the L. Not this particular, civil war, proxy war going on over there. They're not going out like that. That's what's going to prompt NATO to say, you know what, Ukraine, you can't get the job done. Move out the way. We'll mess around and launch a false flag attack, bomb Poland again, blame Russia just so that NATO can get involved and make it a world war. They'll do something like that. So look at it. Our people are dying every day, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told German ARD television late on Thursday. If you have Leopard tanks, give them to us. Look at him panhandling like a mug, man. We'll work for tanks. You dig what I'm saying? He out here begging like a mug, man. You're getting billions of dollars from the U.S. every damn month. You're getting tanks from the U.S. You're getting Javelin missiles. You're getting all kind of ammunitions and weapons. You're getting stuff from France. You're getting stuff from the U.K. You're getting stuff from NATO, and they still can't do it. They want more. They said, if you got them tanks, give them to us. Ukraine needed them to defend itself, recapture occupied land, and did not plan to attack Russia yet. Give me a break. As he's posing on magazines, popping up on MTV video awards and everything else, what are you talking about, man? He's out there campaigning and trying to get on TV. He tried to speak at the soccer championships, the World Cup, and they told him no. They was like, nah, man, we're not gonna politicize the soccer game, man. Get up out of here. He's shaking the cup of change all over the world. Wild. Let's look at this. Oh, look at it. Is Putin dead? Volodymyr Zelensky questions whether Russian president is still alive. Remember, we just talked about how the Ukrainian government under Zelensky signed the bill and said that the government is going to have full autonomy over the press. And now all government headlines, all government speeches are going to come approved by the Ukrainian government. So this is when you start seeing headlines like this, you know where that came from. More propaganda, more BS, more. He just got to talk about they dying every day. Now he's popping up saying Putin might be dead. Remember in that same article I brought out when they were talking about the Ukrainian government was going to be taking over the press and so-called freedom of the press. And then the next article I brought out, it said that somebody close to a Ukrainian source with Ukraine said that Putin's going to die of cancer any day now. Now they're saying he might be dead, but he's still begging for tanks, begging for everything. I mean, this stuff just don't add up, man. It's unreal. But let's move on. And as we're seeing this type of stuff, man, this is the rabbit hole on where it's going down. You know, there's already been a couple of news sites that's already been using bots to produce articles and content. When you start seeing all these layoffs at these particular tech companies and stuff like that, you know, they're trying to incorporate bots and AI now. But look at this. 90% of online content could be generated by AI by 2025, an expert said. 90% of online content. That ain't just news sources. That's all online content. So does this mean that they're going to dibble and dabble into the pockets of quote-unquote content creators who've been making their living off of the internet? Very possible. Could they be shifting gears in order to bring everybody under one oppressive umbrella as far as it's concerned? You know, what you read, what you think, what you view. You understand what I'm saying? Full 1984 stuff. Big Brother, the whole night. You talking about Skynet and Terminator with robots and AI controlling every damn thing? They saying this is where this whole thing could be going in the next 2 years. 90% of online content could be generated by AI. What generative AI can do essentially is create new things that would have us thus far been seen as unique to human intelligence or creativity, she said. Generative AI can create across all media. So text, video, audio, pictures. Hello? You know, so you can forget, you know, all these little gig economy people running around making millions off of their OnlyFans and Instagrams and TikToks. And they're getting ready to try to cut all of that income out because they want everybody on one income stream, everybody on the social credit score, everybody on a digital currency, everybody utilizing the same apps for behavioral means, for weight and dietary means, to give you your universal basic income stipends if you've been a good little slave. You understand what I'm saying? They can't do that if you're still able to make money independently on various platforms and do all of that. They saying, oh, they love watching little videos. Well, AI can create that. Oh, we got deep fake videos. We can make whatever you want. You don't need a human to do any of this no more. And we're going to go ahead and cut you off from making a living on the internet, from trying to wake people up on the internet. Hello? Oh, yeah. Israelite, you ain't going to be using the internet no more to be out there trying to wake people up with your knowledge, wisdom, understanding content, utilizing the Bible. No, we'll let AI do that now. Media, text, video, audio, pictures. Every digital medium, let me read that again. Every digital medium can be powered by generative AI. So I think these valuations that you're seeing for OpenAI are actually going to go up, and you're going to start to see even more generative AI companies which have universal applications across many industries in 2023. I think Bill Gates and some other collective company got some AI chat bot thing that's going on. I forgot the name of it. If y'all know, put it in the chat. but it's something called. What is this thing called? Let me see if I can remember. Yeah, we know he's into the farmland, but nah, there's some new thing going on. Yeah, I can't recall right now, but it'll come back to me. But nonetheless, I mean, this guy's investing in the new AI, all this other stuff that's going on. Let me see if anybody remember. Yeah, you're right, Karatazar. Good one, good one. I forgot about that. They sure did have a AI rapper doing AI, man, and it was a Jake that was writing all his raps and everything else, man. The Jake said he didn't even get paid for it. He didn't get paid for it. They did him dirty, and the damn bot looking like a damn AI bot looking like a demon. You say begging like Keith Sweat. Yeah. The Ukrainian Keith Sweat, man, Zelensky. That was a good one, Kohal. Yeah, there you go. So let's get back to it, man. Let's get back to it. So they talking about AI, man, taking over, man. By 2025. Okay. Let's move on. South Africa set to welcome Russian warships despite criticism. So we've seen Iran. Last week we talked about Iran moving in over there. Where they moved the warships over to? Was it South America? I think it was Central America. They moved over to Venezuela. They said it was the first time that they moved in Pacific waters. Right now, Russia's getting ready to move their warships over to South Africa. Well, that's no surprise, only because they've already had a relationship with South Africa through the BRICS economy. We've made mention of this on a number of occasions, but just in case anybody's not familiar, doesn't know. Let's just look at it real quick. BRICS is an acronym for the 5 leading emerging economies: Brazil for the B, R for the Russians, India for the I, China for the C, South Africa for the S. Okay. These 5 nations are coming together to create a new economy, which I believe will be backed by gold. They're trying to break away from the dollar being the world reserve currency. This is the economic warfare that these nations have declared on America. They're breaking free. So, Russia having this relationship with South Africa is no surprise. And they're saying, despite the criticism, because why? NATO and the rest of the nations are saying, how are you going to help Russia? They've been helping Russia. They already been allied. What are you talking about? That's a wrap. That's they buddy. Right? South Africa will next month go ahead with naval exercises off its eastern coast with Russian and Chinese warships. So again, that's part of the overall global takeover. This is the nations starving for power, wondering who's got next. Well, clearly they don't have next because what? The Most High said Esau is the end of the world and Jacob's the beginning of it that follow it. We got next. They think they're jockeying for power to be the next world power, the next great whore, the next one that rises up. They ain't no more. It all begins and ends with America. So Russia and China's warships in a decision that could further strain its relationship with some of its biggest trading partners. Operation Mosi, which means smoke, will take place from February 17th to the 26th. Now, this lets you know that Russia is not stressing Ukraine. And they got that pretty much under wraps because here they are running more warship drills down in and getting ready to run warship drills in South Africa, preparing for the big one. If they had their backs against the wall and were scared of it, taking all these losses and everything was going to hell in the handbasket, just trying to fight the Ukrainians, you think that they would be wasting time doing drills and practicing elsewhere? That's like boxing with your, a blindfold in one hand and you just jabbing. And Ukrainians like, boop, boop, boop. They like, man, we ain't even hit you with the right yet. What are you doing? You think you got a chance? Lay down now and give us a land back, come back home, be part of Russia again so that we can go ahead and fully arm up because NATO don't want you. They're using them to try to soften up and break down Russia to hopefully tire them out so that when, NATO and America comes in for the kill, that they can get them. But Russia's got allies. Russia's got some backup. That ain't going down. All right. So South Africa's reluctance to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine and its decision to allow sanctioned Russian vessels to dock at its ports have already ramped up tensions with the U.S., UK, and European Union, who are backing Ukraine in the conflict. The country's biggest opposition party questioned the wisdom of going ahead with the exercise. So, again, we're seeing nations choosing sides, lines being drawn in the sand, and now we see who's riding with Russia and where they're setting up shop at. Look at this. Remember, we just got the reading in 2 Ezra 16. It said the plagues has already been sent forth. U.S. is investigating the first cases of a quote concerning new drug-resistant gonorrhea strain. New drug-resistant gonorrhea strain. New. When I thought that was, hold on. I thought there was one other one. Give me 1 second. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank. I could have sworn there was a scripture that was mentioning that even the plague that's not written in the book is going to come upon all those that defy the words of the Most High. Kind of paraphrasing that, but nonetheless, we know the gonorrhea is a plague. The great whore. Any question why gonorrhea now drug resistant is coming through this great harlot? I mean, it's a great whore. I mean, what do you expect? She's burning, literally and figuratively. So a new drug-resistant gonorrhea strain is now breaking loose in America. And guess what? America's still running around talking about live out your whole phases, telling our women go out there and basically be a harlot for money. Now these women nowadays, man, everything comes with a cost. You can't take a woman. You can't do nothing unless you paying, buying, supporting her habits and the whole nine. Men is out here running around reckless, whoremongering, and it's all promoted through the music, through the imagery, through the internet, through TV, movies, propaganda, media. You understand what I'm saying? I tell young cats all along, man, the game, the relationships and meeting people. I'm talking about in the world. I'm not talking about the truth. Just listen to what I'm talking about. In my day, you had to go out, you had to socialize, you had to go meet females, whether it was at the mall, whether it was at the bar, at the club, whether it was at school, whether it was at the bus stop, whether, you know what I'm saying? You had to go out there, use your mouthpiece and talk to a female. Nowadays, there's 101 million dating sites. You can create all types of profiles, send 100 messages a day. So somebody's gonna bite. You feel what I'm saying? All they do is communicate on the damn internet, sending messages to each other. And before you know it, all you gotta do is go link up. It's that easy now. I mean, even the worst, even the I don't know what to call them. I mean, unless you like one of these little nerdy incel types who, you know, hate women and can't never get by in life. I mean, there's no reason why these guys is out here. I mean, it's no wonder why everybody's out there just completely engulfed in lust and fornication and, you know, lascivious behavior and everything else. The internet has made it easy. All you gotta do is send, hey, 10 females. I'm sending each one a message. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? If 5 of them return a message, that's 50%. That's way better than you going out trying to meet 10 women somewhere else and trying to talk to them. Then you wonder why drug-resistant gonorrhea is popping up and drug-resistant STDs is all over the place. You know, health authorities in Massachusetts announced Thursday they have identified 2 cases of a new strain of gonorrhea that appears to have developed resistance to a broad swath of antibiotic treatments. I mean, you know, people probably wonder, was it all worth it in the end? Drug-fueled parties and, you know, one-night stands and all that. And you mess around and catch something you can't get rid of. A real plague. Both patients got better after getting injections of ceftriaxone, the main drug currently recommended to treat cases of sexually transmitted infection, but state health officials warn the strain that infected them shows signs of at least some resistance to almost every drug to treat the bacteria, the first of its kind confirmed in the U.S. to date. So this is just the beginning of some of these things. This is just the beginning of some of the plagues that's, you know, encompassing the Great Horde. That's what comes along with her. That's what comes along with her. Look at this. 3 common STDs becoming untreatable. I mean, these things are only getting worse and worse. But the mother of harlots, man, that's what comes along with her. Lay down if you want to. Let's move on. Look at that. Look at the economy. America has officially hit the $31 trillion debt ceiling. Treasury implements extraordinary measures to avoid economic meltdown. And here's what it means for your 401ks. This is important. Let me play this for y'all, because I'm gonna let Esau tell. She can tell you better than I can in explaining economics. Listen to this.
We'd like to get a debt ceiling done in this work period.
So when it comes to the debt ceiling, it should not be used.
There's my girl. There's my girl. Let it go.
We'd like to get a debt ceiling done in this work period.
So when it comes to the debt ceiling, it should not be used or never be a matter of political brinksmanship.
It's really up to Congress to raise the debt ceiling.
Ah, the debt ceiling, the eternal Washington food fight. So what is it, and why is it so contentious? The debt ceiling is the legal limit set by Congress on how much money America can borrow.
Now you hear that. Remember, America operates off of debt. America is a debtor nation. America survives off of reputation. America said, hey, remember, I'm America. I'm good for it. So they accumulate all of this debt, borrowing money from the Federal Reserve, which is a private institution, a private bank, that all they do is print money and loan it out. And then they create interest rates that America never can get out of. See, they got a problem. Here they are telling you and me about having bad credit and what you can't get and what you can get. Here they are trying to condemn, Black and Hispanic and Native Americans for not having, being fiscally responsible and understanding and knowing, the value of a dollar. Yeah, we spend billions of dollars on consumerism. We're talking about just so-called Blacks alone, billion-dollar consumers. We're spending everything on PS5s, Nikes, fast foods, clothes, jewelry, streaming services, you name it. Rental cars, Airbnb. Well, all we do, we get money, we go and spend it. Some of our people are just now learning how to be fiscally responsible, learning about investments, savings, and so forth and so on. But we're over 200 years behind the curve dealing with so-called America. But the problem is that America is a hypocritical nation because they live in debt. America's got damn near the worst credit in the world. You're talking about $3 trillion in debt, and you got no way to pay it back right now. That's why they hit their debt ceiling. What they basically are establishing is, this is how much we can owe. If it's $31 trillion, we maxed out. We can't pay our bills right now, and we can't borrow no more. What are we going to do? That's essentially what's happening. So let's continue.
Because the U.S. spends more than it takes in, it borrows to make up the difference.
Sound familiar? America is the real nigger nation. Let's just call it what it is. A nigger will spend more than he brings in. See, you say, why is he being so harsh with the words? I mean, we know niggered and nigger is in the Bible. All right, calm down. Let's get that first. Let's see this. Sirach 14:3. Riches are not comely for a niggard, and what should an envious man do with money? So a nigger is not going to value or understand money. He's not going to understand and know what to do with it. He's ignorant. He just runs around here, spends, doesn't have any value with it. And it says, what's an envious man going to do with money? Because he's always going to envy. He's always going to want. He's always going to desire. He's always going to want to take, rob, steal. That's the works of a nigger. Well, America is a nigger nation. America operates like damn nigger. Then you wonder why the Most High said, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Remember that? Because America breeds and created the nigger. To keep it real, I'm going to go a little deep on you, man. America done created a nigger. We learn his ways. Look, Proverbs 3:31, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. The nigger is the one that goes out there and robs and steals. Well, what did America do? The nigger is the one that goes out there and commits rape and murder. Well, what did America do? The nigger is the one that's going out there selling drugs and killing his own people. Well, what did America do with the CIA and Oliver North and Rick Ross and drugs in the communities? Oh, okay. The nigger don't know how to spend. He doesn't care for riches. Riches are not coming. Well, America doesn't value money. All they do is they spend more than they make. Then you see niggas out here running around here saying, what did E40 say? He said, don't buy an $80-something thousand car before you buy a house. And that's that song with Tupac and somebody else. I forgot. Too Short. Maybe I'm missing y'all with that one. I forgot the name of the song. Players Ball, I think it was. No, was it Player Ball? Whatever it was. But that was one line I remember E40 said. He said, don't buy an $80-something car before you buy a house. But a nigga would do that. A nigga would go get the money, go ride around in the Benz with a quarter tank of gas and pull up at his mama's house and go to his room and lock the door and go heat up some top ramen while he's looking at, trying to call the female that he just met because he got the $80,000 car. See, riches aren't coming to a nigga. But America says, no, don't worry about it. We taught you to be niggas. To hate your own. You understand what I'm saying? To be covetous. Well, doesn't America covet lands and covet fields? Well, what do they do when they gangbanging? Coveting blocks, coveting neighborhoods, coveting, drug trades and everything else. Plotting and scheming to go ride around and spin the block on their neighbor. Well, guess who did that? Good old America. Colonizing lands. Oh, moving in on drug territories. Oh, yeah. He created the nigga, the man, so-called Negroes and Hispanics. We bought into it and started following after his ways. Make sense? Now let's get back over here. Let me let her finish off. Let me go ahead and let her finish off. So America spends more than they make.
Debt ceiling, it should not.
They figure we'll just go borrow more. I mean, you might as well figure that. That's like, and you only see these places in the hood. Payday loans. Because they know niggas is in debt. You're going to run around and spend more than you make. So you need that cash advance. You're going to pay wild interest for a payback. And you know who runs those places? Small hat GMO folks, the Revelation 209 people. Predatory loaners. Oh, yeah. And that's coming from the mouths of the small hats.
It should not be used or never be a matter of political brinksmanship.
It's really up to Congress to raise the debt ceiling.
The debt ceiling, the eternal Washington food fight. So what is it? And why is it so contentious? The debt ceiling is the legal limit set by Congress on how much money America can borrow. Because the U.S. spends more than it takes in, it borrows to make up the difference. The debt ceiling caps how...
So I'm gonna let it ride. But just imagine, that's something the nigga would do. You spend more than you got, and you figure, you know what, I'm just gonna go borrow some more. Let me go, get another credit card. Let me go ahead and go get this payday loan. Constantly living in debt. And that's why America creates debt slaves. They tell you, oh, you need to go to college. Make sure you go get 4, 6 years, 8 years of more additional indoctrination education. And while you're at it, make sure you get some of those federal loans that are unforgivable. So now you're leaving up out of a college with 80, 90, 100, $200,000 debt. That Uncle Sam sits back and says, got another one. And that money's not coming back. I mean, that money you can't write off in bankruptcy, none of that. That is constantly owed. You owe a federal debt. And as soon as you leave school, 6 months later, they're coming for that money. Make a payment plan, do what you got to do, but they want their money back. Before you may even have your career going, got a job, anything, doesn't even matter. You dropped out of school, $70,000 in debt. Guess what? You still owe that $70,000. You can go back to school to try and get them up off your back, but then you're just back in the damn cycle again. So America creates these debt slaves. Then they tell everybody, yeah, go out there and get your master card, your master's card, Visa, Discover, American Express. Go out there and get more. That's how he lives.
how much. Problem is, it's not enough. So every once in a while, Congress needs to raise it. If it doesn't, the Treasury Department won't be able to pay all the country's bills in full and on time. Now, the Treasury...
So they having trouble paying their bills. Sound familiar? You know, but they want to condemn the Negro who gets the eviction notice on his door, or the lights cut off, or the gas turned off. Americans in the same damn position. But the difference is all they got to do is say, increase the debt limit. It's just like a degenerate gambler. You know, that goes in, he goes and gambles $100,000 and blows it, and goes and talks to the manager and says, spot me another 50,000. You know I'm good for it. And they say, yeah, this guy's a loser. Give him another 50,000. He's good for it. We'll get him. That's what America's doing.
Does have a little wiggle room before it gets to that point, what it calls extraordinary measures to move money around. But eventually, the accounting tricks run out, and there's no more avoiding the debt ceiling. That's when the fireworks usually break out.
Our debt is out of control. I mean, we're talking about over $30 trillion.
Me, I get rid of the debt ceiling altogether.
Right.
It serves no function except to create leverage.
Look, they're difficult political times. Nobody likes them, but they are necessary evils in a sense, because it's the only time that you can actually negotiate ways to get our budget under control.
Now, many say raising the debt ceiling is just a license to spend more money and grow the debt. But it's not really. Raising the debt ceiling just lets Treasury pay the bills America already owes.
There's nothing to do with any new spending.
If Congress really wants to clamp down on debt, it has to do it a lot earlier, like before passing spending bills or tax cuts, both of which can add to deficits.
Now, did you just hear that? Slow Biden said it has nothing to do with spending, new spending. Didn't they just say you should be getting your budget in order before passing spending bills? That means that you already accounted for new spending and just said, you know, we'll cover it on the back end. Now that it's already a debt, it's not considered quote unquote new spending. See the white lie? Well, technically, we're not having new spending because it's not after we got the new money. We created the new spending debt. Now we need new. See, that's the devil for you. Let me let this last 10 seconds play.
Failing to raise the debt ceiling won't keep a lid on debt. It just risks the U.S. defaulting on its obligations, something that could forever stain America's global reputation.
Oh, isn't that a shame? America's global reputation, huh? Well, let's look at this real quick. These are the extraordinary measures that they're talking about could happen. Look at this. First, the government will temporarily suspend payments to the retirement, disability, and health benefit funds for federal employees. Did you hear that? If you work for the federal government, this is what temporarily could happen if they don't get their spending under control. So what does that mean? They're either going to have to raise the debt ceiling and start borrowing more money, which means that now the Federal Reserve is going to print up some more money, which is going to devalue the money that's in your pocket, my pocket, your purse, my wallet, whatever, in your bank. It's going to devalue it a little bit more. Inflation is going to continue up because they got to print up some more money to get more in circulation so America can pay off its debts. And if they don't do that, they're going to have to take extreme measures. If the Republicans and all them say, nah, we not borrowing no more money, we got to figure it out somewhere else. That means they got to start cutting some things down. You know, like we do in our houses. Hey, you know what? We're going to cut off Netflix. We're going to cut this off, and you know, we got to rebudget on the grocery bill. You know what? You know, the family plan with the phones don't need. We can't do that no more. All the kids, y'all share one phone, whatever. This is what they're talking about, extreme measures. So America's got to cut corners somewhere. Where are they starting first? Federal workers. Oh, your retirement payments to your retirement fund? Cut. Disability and health benefits? Cut. Until they get their spending under control. So that means that's going to impact. Imagine you're on your last year of retirement and you're counting on that money. That could be gone. Your whole retirement plan could be ruined. 401k plans, all that stuff. Second, it will suspend the reinvestment of maturing government bonds and the retirement savings accounts of government workers. So the first ones they hit is the ones who's been loyal to the beast. The ones that's been loyal to the beast is the first ones to get cut. That's why I always tell people, man, there's no negotiating with this thing, man. You can't sit back in the corner and say, oh, the beast ain't gonna eat me. He's gonna eat every damn body, man. You could play nice if you want to. There's no loyalty with this system. There's no loyalty with the so-called white man. Please. You could be working at the damn post office 35 years, and you got 2 more years before you retire. And next thing you know, they say, oh, we're going to have to cut off your health, your retirement benefits, man. You're not going to be able to retire like you thought you was. Nearly 25 million full-time and part-time federal employees, or approximately 16% of the American workforce, will be affected if the debt debacle defaults in June. So they've got 5 more months to figure this thing out, or all hell is going to break loose with people's retirement funds, federal, health benefits, disability, all of that. So we'll see how they handle it. Increase the debt, create an even bigger economic problem for everybody, or they're going to have to start cutting heads in the federal. I mean, we just seen they're closing 50 post offices. We read that last week. So let's see what they do. But it ain't looking good for this gray horde. Oh, hold on. No, that's good news. Yeah. It's all not doom and gloom, y'all. Good news for home buyers. Oh, yeah. America's still saying it's a great time to buy. Even though home sales have dropped 11 months straight. 11 months straight been dropping. And they say it's a great time to buy, y'all. Good news for home buyers. Interest rates hover at their lowest level since September, triggering a leap in mortgage applications of nearly 28% a week. Isn't that great? Let's see. The average contract interest rates for 30-year fixed-rate mortgages with conforming loan balances of $726,000 or less dropped to 6.23% from 6.42% across the U.S. So it dropped maybe 0.20%, right? Now it says this is concerning loan balances of $700,000+ or less. The problem is that the home prices are overvalued, and in order for you to qualify for that, you got to have your credit has to be well over the 700s, 20% down, all this other madness that you got to have in order before you can even qualify to take advantage of these particular rates. So you're going to buy an overpriced house because of the inflation rates and everything else that's going on. All the prices of houses is all up, overvalued right now. And then you got to damn near have spit shine shoes and fake veneer teeth, and everything got to be perfect for you to even qualify to get this particular loan rate. So, this is another wool over the eyes of the people talking about this good news. They're trying to get people to jump back into the trap because real estate is one of the biggest economic factors that help support America. If that thing falls and crumbles, you can forget about it. That's what happened in 2008. That's why they said, man, the banks are too big to fail. Everybody was defaulting on their loans, foreclosing and the whole nine, and the banks were sitting back with all this dead money. And it was like, look, we're getting ready to close up shop if we don't get help. And Obama and Eric Holder and all them said, hey, the banks are too big to fail. We got to bail them out. Print up money, save them. So, real estate is important. That's why they're trying to bait everybody back in it. Oh, everything's great. Really? Well, let's look. Homeowners in Louisiana are in crisis. I thought everything was great. As more than 20 insurance companies go under or flee the state after a string of devastating storms, forcing hundreds of thousands to pay higher premiums or go without coverage. Oh, it's a great time to buy. Come on in. We'll go talk to the people down there in Louisiana who got duped by these insurance companies because of all the storms and everything else that's been happening. They can't pay out. They can't pay out these insurance claims. They're fleeing the state and they're closing up. So now you got people out there with no home insurance coverage, which is a requirement. I know at least in California, you got to have home insurance and everything else. So how are you going to get this house? And you're going to be living in a place that's subject to storms and tornadoes and everything else. And you got no liability to cover it. As the insurance company said, man, we got billions of dollars in claims. We can't pay this. But they sure was taking them premium, taking that money every month, telling you just in case you're going to need us. And then he said, well, I need you. We're out of business. Sorry. We're out of here. More than 20 insurance companies, have left Louisiana in the past 2 years. State has suffered a series of hurricanes and flooding in recent years. Homeowners are faced with higher premiums or forced to go without coverage. Man, imagine that. And they say we're certainly in a crisis. Look at this. More cities and states make homeless in campus a crime, leaving low-income people with few options. So now they're even considering people being homeless a criminal act. As Oregon, various cities in Oregon have declared a state of emergency over the homeless issue. Lord knows, California is in a state of emergency. So from San Francisco all the way down to Skid Row in LA. Camp in tent cities all over the place. And now they're saying, oh, you can make homelessness a crime now. Homelessness a crime. Can you imagine? Give me 1 second. I have this precept in Proverbs. Where is it at? Proverbs. Give me 1 second. I'm checking my. Is it Proverbs or it might be Job? Job. Shalakia. Give me 1 second. It might be Job. Darn it. What was the name of that precept? Rashav, you on? If you want to remind me of that precept about about Jason sleeping on the concrete, sit on the stone or something like that. That's it, Job 24. I gotta break out my trusty sword and pull it up. Job 24. That was it. 24, and let's read 7. Look what the so-called white man does, right? Job 24:7 says, they cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. Well, if you've seen what's going on with this whole homeless situation and the weather that's been going on throughout this country, from the cold fronts, from the rain, from the storms, from the tornadoes, from everything else, man, them homeless people is jacked up. I know, Brother Uziel, you talking about, you know, how cold it was and how jacked up it was up there. And vacant and empty buildings, man, talking about the homeless people scared to break in, the duck from the cold. This is a white man. He said, man, I don't give a damn. You go have your tent city all you want to, man. You get rained out, flooded, cold, whatever. It is what it is. But reading on, it says, they are wet with the showers of the mountains and embrace the rock for want of a shelter. Embrace the rock for want of shelter. That's a concrete slab. That's you laid out on the ground, man. That's the so-called white man fosters homelessness. Rather than taking them billions of dollars, they constantly over here funding this war. They could have been had affordable housing and everything already lined up all over here and throughout the country. They could get people off the streets if they want to, but no. Now they're going to criminalize. Some of these cities saying homeless encampments could be a crime now. So what's that mean? As people are losing their jobs, people are losing their homes, People are living in their cars and their RVs and living in their vans. People are opting to just go ahead on and just nomad it out and live in the streets. They're getting ready to try to clean all of that up because they want everybody in one particular type of utopia known as a New World Order. Okay? As the number of people who are experiencing homelessness increases across the country, more cities and states have passed laws making it illegal to live out of the tents and cars or sleep in the public spaces. Do you hear that? So what are they going to do with these people? Jails is already overcrowded. There's not enough missions and placement homes to put these people. What are they going to do with them? More than 100 jurisdictions have had such bans on the books for years, according to the National Homelessness Law Center. In recent months, high-profile measures have been approved targeting homelessness in many Western U.S. cities and across entire states. So now it's just becoming par for the course, man. You're going to be punished and penalized because you can't keep up with the, keep up with what's going on in the earth. Can't maintain your job. Well, it's because of them you can't maintain your job. America and this debt ceiling, they can't even maintain a home. I mean, what are they talking about? So let's move on. Oh, well, homelessness is going down, but look at this. Vox Media, they're going to lay off 7,000 people. That's 1,900 employees from the workforce. That's another media and tech firm. More layoffs. But they're saying the economy's great. Great time to buy a house, but just don't be homeless because we're going to lock your butt up. Look at it. I have difficult news to share. Google CEO tells employees 12,000 jobs will be cut. Google cutting off 12,000 heads. We already know all the other companies that we've been talking about been laying off and cutting off. Right? Oh, but everything's fine. The economy is never been better. Leave it to slow Biden. Hey, the plan is working. Inflation is going down. Everything's great. This goofy dude was ordered him and Kamala Harris cheeseburgers from some damn burger place in DC, talking about how he was going to help. He's going to help small businesses. That was his help by ordering a $15 bacon cheeseburger. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm gonna do this real quick. You see this? U.S. President Slow Biden goes vocal for local, orders a burger for lunch to support small business. That's how he's going to keep businesses alive, man. So he can stuff his little narrow slits between his, what that he calls lips. He's going to help. He's going to help the small businessman by ordering a $15 burger. See this? He ordered a bacon cheeseburger. Swine, no doubt. Of course, going to come, and it was rare or medium rare, if at all. Ordered a bacon cheeseburger so he can help out the small businesses. I mean, this is disgusting, man. But that's how you Negroes want it. I see you niggas out here running to the polls for your new pharaoh, your new massa. All right. So Google's cutting 12,000 jobs too, man. The economy is going down that proverbial shitter. Right? Let's continue. Notice it says over here, the company plans to fire 12,000 employees or reduce headcount by 6%, the largest ever round of layoffs for the tech firm. Largest ever. Crypto firm Genesis is preparing to file for bankruptcy. So another crypto trader, another crypto company going down the toilet. They're filing for bankruptcy. Oh, but everything's great. Over 1 million workers hit the French streets against Macron's pension reform. Well, what's happening in France? Sounds very familiar with what's going on with America. America is talking about how they might have to tap into retirement funds and everything else. Well, over there in France, they're saying they're going to add on 2 more years to the retirement age before people can qualify for their pensions. They say, give us 2 more years of servitude. Look how they're reacting. Look how they're getting turned up in France. Yeah, they're getting it on. They had to pull him back because he was going crazy. Yeah, they thought he wanted more. They tell him to calm down. Police backing up there on their heels, man. See what happens, man, when the people get to tripping? Now that's France, right? Well, we line it up with what the word says. Second Ezra 9. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. So the time is going to manifest itself. And the Lord said, measure the time, just like the sands of an hourglass. And you seeing it trickle down, and you wondering, when is it going to stop? When is it going to end? How much time? He said, measure. You got to look and pay attention to what's going on. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand. Remember, we just got to reading about that in 2 Ezra 16, about the saints needing understanding of what's going to be happening. Then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So now the Most High is visiting the world with plague, famine, pestilence, war, earthquakes, volcano eruptions, the whole nine. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So are we not seeing uproars of the people in the world? France is getting it on because they said, you're going to have to work 2 more years before you qualify for that pension. Can you imagine? All this time, man, you working all these years, you 61, and you like, next year, I'm out of here, man. I'm getting my pension. I'm out. And then they pop up on you and say, oh, no. We need 2 more years out of you. And who knows? After that 2 years, they could extend it again. Permanent slaves, man. Let's continue. Oh, someone runs off with Usain Bolt's money. 12.7 million goes missing from his account, leaving a balance of $12,000 as an investment firm is given 10 days to return or to face charges. See, they always trying to get a Jake, man. You know, that's why Negroes, you know, these Jakes, these athletes, entertainers, man, they go get these high-paid lawyers. They get these investment firms that's usually ran by you-know-who, and they siphoning off money out of these accounts, man, and Jakes don't have no idea what's going on. They're being told what they can and can't buy because they too busy running around spending their money. So Usain Bolt got for 12.7 million. And what's so crazy about it is that's trusting in our enemy. You know, and I don't know if this was the Jake that did it or whatever the case may be, but you know, this just goes to show you, man. He got, and they telling the investment firm they got 10 days to give up the money, or we coming after you. But look at this. Central bank digital currencies are coming whether countries are ready or not. So we've talked about the CBDC. That's the central bank digital currencies. Everything is going digital, which makes it even more dangerous because, you know, like they always say, man, if you can't touch it, you don't own it. If you can't hold it in your palms, it ain't yours. At a flick of a button, a quote unquote glitch, a hack, you could lose it all. That's why I just, you know, showed Usain Bolt 12.7 million gone like that. And this is the system that they're incorporating everybody in. The B system. This is why everybody has their debit cards, credit cards. You know, they're making sure everybody gets prepaid cards. If you don't want the card, you can always have the app on your phone. You got people paying by their Apple Watches. They're paying with Apple Pay. A swipe of the phone, everything gets taken immediately away. You got these side vendors from PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, all these intermediaries. They're trying to get everybody used to the crypto now, the cryptocurrency knowledge, where everything is kind of based in some fantasy type digicoin that, you know, price can be manipulated at any particular point in time. And they're saying, look, this is the way of the world, and countries better get ready, whether you like it or not. This is where it's going, because it's going to be centrally controlled, you know, at the push of a button, and programmable money that's going to be give or take out of people's, you know, accounts. You won't be able to buy or sell if you're not incorporated into this particular system. You understand? That's why they're allowing all of these crypto companies to bankrupt and the scheme and everything else, so that people will beg for regulations. People will beg to say, well, we want the government involved in here. I just lost $1 million in my Bitcoin, whatever the case may be, man. This cat got me. And I chose to go that route because I didn't want the government all in my business, and I wanted to deregulate the money and da. Well, you got what you wanted. And now, they let these little pyramid scheming demons out here rob and take you for everything. And then you saying, well, I want my money back. Well, there's no insurance behind it. But guess what? They're going to pop up and say, we'll be the savior. We've got carbon credit cards for you. We're going to monitor your digital footprint. We're going to make sure that you're, abiding by the diet plan. All we're going to do, we're going to look at your card, scan your chip. Oh, you're a little bit over on your calorie count, or you're a little bit over. No meat for you today. Your method of purchase will be declined. You can only buy, some mealworms and some bugs, and some vegetables, and a bottle of Soylent Green to drink. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, you can't buy that car over there. Your carbon footprint is out of control. You're going to need to, maintain and stay on the bus or ride a bike. This is what they're getting ready to try to set up, and it's already in motion. People are, will buy into convenience, and it's always cloaked as convenience and for your own good. Didn't they do that with the health crisis? And for your own good, man, put that thing over your mouth. For your own good and for the sake of others, make sure that you, keep 6 feet. For your own good and for the sake of others, roll up your sleeve. Here, let me put this in you. And then 6 months later, I'm going to need to do it again. 3 months after that, I'm going to need to do it again. Oh, you don't like that? Oh, well, guess what? We're going to go ahead and suspend your channel. We're gonna cut you off from society. Oh, your kids, they can't go to school unless we, say so. You understand? That's where everything's going. We're gonna need to put cameras up in your homes. We need to see what's going on. Actually, we don't even need it. Ring is already taking care of that. We're just gonna tap into your Ring. Your Siri's telling us everything, and so is Alexa. They work for us. Everything is centralized. Central bank digital currency doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but you might want to get used to saying it. These so-called CBDCs, or digital versions of dollars, yuan, euros, yen, or any other currency, are coming, say those who study them, and depending on how they are designed and rolled out, their impact on the banking system could be profound. 114 countries are exploring digital currencies, and the collective economies represent more than 95% of the world's GDP, according to Atlantic Council's Central Bank Digital Currency Tracker. Some countries, including China, India, Nigeria, and the Bahamas, have already rolled out digital currencies, unlike Slovakia. Others, like Sweden and Japan, are preparing for possible rollouts. The U.S. is studying the issue and has run trials of various technologies to enable a digital currency. Run trials. I wonder what trials have they been running? Is it the crypto market? I don't know. But we'll see. Although Fed Chair Jerome Powell has indicated the U.S. Central Bank has no plans to create one and won't do so without direction from Congress. I mean, this is the same guy that said that inflation is going to be transitory. This is the same guy that said that, you know, everything that's going on right now, he didn't expect it. He didn't know. So are we to listen to him when he says that the U.S. has no plan? I mean, there's no such thing as a Fed coin. You're trying to say that that hasn't been discussed? Believe the man if you want to. I know that the scriptures say never trust thy enemy. Oh, you must be in the spirit, Karatazar. Because here he goes. How Sam Bankman-Fried's ties with the Clintons helped him dupe investors. Oh, familiar name. The Clinton crime family. There they go. Their names are involved in this Sam Bankman-Fried Ponzi scheme and helped him dupe investors. Sam Bankman-Fried cultivated ties with A-list celebrities, politicians, and investors alike, but one power couple in particular was key to boosting his profile in influential and moneyed circles. Bill Clinton was paid north of $250,000 when he spoke to disgraced FTX Crypto Bahamas conference in April. I mean, follow the money, man. Anytime the Clintons are involved, you know some problems. Remember this? Remember the 2010 earthquake? And the Clinton Foundation came and made millions and ran off? U.S. Election 2016. What really happened with the Clintons in Haiti? This is a 2016 article. I had to go archive this one. Look, where the Haiti quake funding went. January 10th to June 2012. So in a 2-year span, they got $9.04 billion of total international funding. They got $9 billion, right? $3 billion were from individuals and companies. $6.04 billion from bilateral and multilateral donors. So that's the collection of the money. Look at this. 89.8%, or $5.4 billion, went to non-Haitian organizations. Almost 90% of that money didn't go to Haitian organizations or the Haitian people at all. 580 million went to the Haitian government, and we know the Haitian government is corrupt. 36 million went to Haitian organizations, which is 0.6% of that $9 billion went actually to Haiti organizations. And then they had the UN going over there giving people cholera, diseasing the women, man, raping the women. I mean, it was a whole mess down there, and Haiti still ain't recovered. You see Haiti right now, Haiti's a complete mess. You're talking about from the Greek word for the Greek god Hades, meaning hell, the god of hell. That's where Haiti, you know, it's been rumored that that's where the name came from. Others will dispute that. I'm just saying what's out there. I'm not saying I co-sign it or not. But there's a hellhole over there. There's no denying that. Overran by gangs, corruption, death, poverty, famine. I mean, constantly getting hit upside the head with disaster after disaster, with earthquakes and whatnot. They're getting robbed and spoiled, man. America's trying to go over there and colonize and occupy the land. The people don't want them. They tell America, get the hell out of here, man. This is our business. We'll handle it. But we see what happened. This is why they don't want America over there, man. White man goes over there in the name of humanitarianism, claiming to be the helpful savior, collects the money, drops off a couple of coins, and then says, we're out. Thanks. So is there any surprise that the Clintons is over here involved in a scam to get money? I don't think so. Let's continue on. Big banks might face a breakup, top regulator says. So as they all these particular intertwining, entities with money and banks and digital coins and everything else is all coming to a head now. Big banks may need to be broken up into smaller pieces if they become too big to manage and are unable to fix significant regulatory lapses, a top federal banking regulator said in a warning shot across Wall Street on Tuesday. A bank's failure to resolve longstanding deficiencies, despite reprimands from its regulators and onerous restrictions such as caps on its growth, are evidence that a firm is unmanageable and needs to be broken up. So here they are threatening that they may have to break up these banks. Well, how else are you going to create a centralized system? You break them all up and then you bring them under one conglomerate umbrella. I.e., as Slow Biden would say, build back better. And Klaus Schwab saying a great reset. Okay? Everything got to be broken down, collapsed, so that they can, reestablish a new order. Let's continue. Look at it. A Bank of America glitch sent customers into a panic over missing funds. This is all it takes. Oops. Just this past Wednesday morning, Bank of America customers began reporting issues with payments processed through the money transfer service Zelle, which led to money disappearing from their accounts. Many customers took to Twitter to express their outrage as they began to notice the missing funds. One user tweeted, "I lost my mind when I saw $2,000 was missing from my account." Another says, "So cool how Bank of America magically disappeared a large Zelle transaction that had already posted and I had used to pay bills. Now I'm extremely in debt in my checking and I can't get a hold of them. Unbelievable." If you don't hold it, you don't own it, man. Oh, it's a glitch. A glitch like that can make those digits turn into a zero, can get transferred somewhere else, can just be lost. I mean, but this is the system that they're telling everybody we're going into. I mean, we're already in it, really. They're pretty much saying embrace it because it ain't going nowhere. You understand? So now I think they corrected the problem by now, but they were saying people was calling Zelle. Zelle was saying it's Bank of America's fault. Bank of America saying, oh, it's Zelle. This ping-ponging people back and forth, man. People losing their money, don't know where it is. Accounts being drained out. And it's all because of this digital system that they want to put in place. And you notice always got AI and hackers all over the place, man, leeching into people's accounts, man, just testing the waters, just like they did with the airlines last week. All the airlines got shut down that morning. No flights going on. They said that hadn't happened since 9/11. And you know what happened? Oh, there's another little beta test. Oh, it's a little hack. Let's see if this works. Oh, yeah, it worked. Detroit last week, 911 system went down. People couldn't call 911. So, Negro was acting a damn fool out there in the streets. So the Detroit emergency dispatch down overnight. They ain't talking about the response time. No, that's from 2019. This was just where are we at? No, that's not the one. That's at 2016. Brother just sent me this article last week. Yeah, here you go. It was 10 days ago? Damn, I thought it was last week. Time is flying. Yeah, 911 services went down in parts of Michigan. Here's who to call in an emergency. So this was on January 10th. It got updated January 11th. So, 10 days ago, 911 went down. The niggas come out to play. Oops, it was a hack. It was a system glitch. Sorry. Sorry. Bayan, you out there, tell them. Jake out there acting a damn fool. All right, let's wrap. Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. Got a few more to go, and we're gonna wrap it up. All right, Slow Biden is named in 2017 email discussing multi-million-dollar gas deal with China. Louisiana lawyer wrote to Joe's brother Jim saying, "I've arranged a call with the VP and his son Hunter to discuss the purchase." So here's Slow Biden during his reign with Obama, making backdoor deals with China. This is all what was on that laptop. This is all incriminating Slow Biden, making unsavory deals with China. That's all he wasn't supposed to be doing. None of this stuff. But again, Esau speak. All these politicians is crooked as hell and straight thieves and white collar criminals. See if he gets prosecuted for this. See if they backdate him. See if he just got busted with all these top secret files. CIA, are they gonna come at him? He's been laughing it off every time they bring it up. I think they're gonna, set him up to get him up out of there before 2024 to prevent him from trying to either rerun or just prevent him from finishing his term out. So he's had gas deals going on with China, him and his crackhead son. Right. More dirt on Slow Biden. Here he goes. Grouchy Biden snaps at the press, reads a prepared statement on his classified documents fiasco, and claims it's no big deal. No big deal, huh? And that Americans are more concerned about climate change. Hey, put a 7 in the chat, man, if y'all concerned about climate change. Because Slow Biden is speaking for you. He said that's what you concerned about climate change, man. You don't care about him harboring classified documents. You don't care about him, making billions, selling information or getting information from China. I mean, we don't care about that. We care about climate change. We don't care about all the lies he talked about. I mean, give me a break, man. Look, Ron DeSantis bans advanced placement African American studies course from Florida high schools because it lacks educational value. Now, here's another damn demon. He's thinking about running for president. And he's saying that so-called African American studies at an AP level, advanced placement, doesn't have any educational value. So they don't want you learning your history. Not to say that you're going to get all the correct history, but this is part of the critical race theory curriculum that shows all the damn evils and all the wickedness that the so-called white man did. It shows all the systematic racism. It shows they don't want none of that being exposed. So now, even if that's not the case, you're just talking about higher levels of at least understanding some aspects of history. Everything they teach in school and history isn't all off and isn't all bad. They do have some valuable information that you can take historically and build on it. They're not going to tell you Israel. You don't expect all of that. You got to search that out for yourself. But you damn sure going to be able to link up them curses with some of the history that they'll give you. But Ron DeSantis, presidential hopeful in 2024, he's saying, you niggas did not learn about your history. That's out of here. We're not doing that. So it says the Florida Department of Education claimed in a January 12th letter that an AP African American Studies course significantly lacks education value. So our particular history has no educational value. Where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that one before? Or is it? Oh, that's wisdom. I think it's wisdom. Yeah, look at it. Wisdom of Solomon 5. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. So, we're the righteous, Israel, been afflicted. We're going to stand boldly in the face of such as have afflicted us, being the so-called white man and the heathen. Why? Because they made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangest of his salvation. This is why when we talk about salvation, true salvation is only for Israel. You know, the nation's going into captivity and bondage. We're going to be saved by a so-called black man with white woolly hair. It's going to come thundering down in chariots and a garment drenched in blood and all that. They're going to say, that's the strangeness of our salvation. That's why they're sitting back talking about the Israelites is crazy and the Israelites are twisting the scriptures and the Israelites are religious fanatics and don't know what you're talking about, because they think that that's strange to talk about chariots cracking the sky open, coming to save blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. They said, man, that's weird, strange. That ain't happening. But they're going to be amazed when it all goes down. It says so far beyond all that they look for. Oh, because they're waiting for a white man with stringy blonde hair floating down with doves and everything else, holding up a peace sign, saying, come my children. So far beyond what they were looking for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. This is Ron DeSantis and the rest of his damn demonic Republican crowd over there saying that there's no significant educational value in being an Israelite. It also called the course unlawful and historically inaccurate, but did not elaborate on why the department thought so. So without no rhyme, reason, a lot of people do that. Just say stuff and don't prove nothing. Don't come up with that. No, that ain't true. Oh yeah, he said this. Oh no, he didn't do that. You got to what? We come from a background with the Lord, so you got to prove all things, right? But they go out there and they just say, "Oh, this is inaccurate," and we ain't got to tell you why. Despite rejecting the African American history course, Florida currently offers AP courses in European, Japanese, German, Italian, and Spanish history. Well, imagine that. Of course, they're going to get advanced placement studies on their history, but when we want it, can't have it. Not in Florida. Let's move on. Y'all think this is going to go down? You know, the white man's been pushing this a whole lot lately. He's been pushing this a whole lot lately. You got the Japanese, you got the Asians out there trying to protest to get us reparations. San Francisco saying, well, we're going to give each longtime resident here in San Francisco, each of you black folks, you all going to get $5 million apiece. Isn't that nice? Oh, we ain't even talked about Governor Gruesome talking about, oh no, I'm talking about 200-something million for you niggas. You really think he's gonna come and give it to us, huh? You're put a 7 in the chat. I'm respectful of brothers and sisters, man. Y'all think Governor Newsom's gonna give us his money? I mean, you know, the Beach family over in Manhattan Beach, it took them 100 years to get their land back. Hey, maybe in 100 years they'll come clean. Anything's possible, right? Oh, wait a minute, man. They made them sell that land back, right? White man speak before a time, man. You really think he gonna give us that money? Well, how much did he say it was? $223,000. So Gruesome got the task force saying he's proposing to give every Negro $223,000. San Francisco said, no, I'm gonna one up you. I got $5 million for you niggas. You ready? A long-time resident. Yeah, good question, Naftali. I'm not sure what qualifies as a long-time resident. And I was watching I think it was CNN, and of course they got two Negroes on there to defy this bill. They was going crazy. Larry Elder and I think Leo Terrell. These two coons, man, poking their lips out and showing their teeth. This is racist, and I would never support this. And just because of the color of your skin, that you get money. And he's talking about like he's not black. These are two Negroes. And they was going ham. And I said, Esau is so funny, but they know how to divide Jakes. They got two niggas on there to talk about how much they are against these reparations. So you know any Jake that's watching that's going to say, oh, hell no, these coons, they got it. Not no Edomites out there to dispute the bill and say how much is racist against them. They said, no, we're going to use your own against you, which is always what they do, man. Divide and conquer, Willie Lynch, all the way home. So San Francisco's reparation committee has proposed paying each black longtime resident $5 million and granting total debt forgiveness due to decades of systematic repression faced by the local black community. So, good question, Natalie, because what defines long term? Does that mean you got to be there 10, 20, 15, 30 years? I mean, there's no qualifying age that we hear about. And they saying, we'll give you $5 million and we're going to wipe away all of your debts. So you can start a brand new life, $5 million in profit with no debt. When in the hell has a white man ever done that? The San Francisco African American Reparation Advisory Committee, which advises the city on developing a plan for reparation for black residents, released its draft report last month to address reparations not for slavery, since California was not technically a slave state, but to address the public policies explicitly created to subjugate black people in San Francisco by upholding and expanding the intent and legacy of chattel slavery. Now, they just got through saying that it wasn't, they're not basing it upon slavery because California didn't have slaves, but they just got to saying that it was about the legacy of chattel slavery. So it's contradictory already. But be that as it may, there's a lot of Jakes out there who's hoping and praying that this goes down. But I'd rather hold on to Sirach 12:10. Never trust our enemy, right? There's no coincidence that they constantly keep tickling the Negro's buttocks with a feather to keep your attention. Because something else is getting ready to slide down the pipelines that we don't know about. But reparations, I'm not a believer that that's coming to the pockets of any Negro. And if it is, it's going to set off civil war all in the neighborhoods because the Hispanics is going to rise up against it. The Jakes that don't qualify, that don't get it, they going to rise up. All the Aboriginal, indigenous Jakes is running around talking about we're the Native Americans. We was here first and you ain't getting it. So that's going to raise hell. You talking about completely destroying the nation over some money? They know what they're doing. So if they do, guess what? It's going to cause all kind of hell to selectively pick and say, here, you get this, you don't. You get this, you don't. You qualify, you don't. You know how many Jakes are going to turn on these Jakes and start trying to rob them and do it? And Esau know what he's doing. That's the only thing he could be expecting and want to happen if he hands out this money. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It is offending people. Man wearing a Jesus Saves t-shirt at the Mall of America is ordered by a security guard to take it off or leave at the nation's most famous shopping center. I mean, this is how you see the walls closing in on so-called free speech, religious rights, brothers being able to evangelize out on the streets. It's only a matter of time before they say that your fringes, are offensive, and they ask you to take it off. You can't be in a public place, restaurant, wherever, because of what you're wearing. So this is just the tip of the iceberg when we're seeing how America is completely going to show themselves to being under Satan's authority. They don't want nothing to do with the word. They don't want nothing to do with the Bible and the righteous that's here. Persecution is coming. This is just a small example. This was a Jake. He was wearing a Jesus Saves t-shirt, didn't say nothing. People are see something, say something, spy on your neighbor, supposedly made complaints. Security went over and told the man, take the shirt off or you got to leave. They eventually let him stay. But the fact of the matter is that if they can just approach you for wearing a t-shirt, I mean, they ain't got no problem with, the females running around with little, biker shorts on. I mean, Daisy Dukes on with their butt cheeks hanging out. They ain't got no problem with them running around with, little bra tops on and belly shirts hanging out. Well, that's fine. Dress inappropriately, scantily clad. Oh, that's all good. They ain't got no problem with the man walking around with size Z prosthetic boobs, walking around in Canada talking about don't look at me or you're going to get suspended from school. That's all fine. They don't have no problem with the man walking around with some pumps on and a mini skirt and a wig on. That's fine. That's not offensive. You think they're going to kick somebody out for doing that? They would rather let that person stay in there in the confusion and all of the madness and the pedophiles and everybody else running around in any shopping store before you can wear anything that represents the Bible. That shows you why and how this place got to go there. It's going to get burnt. Fire and brimstone on deck. Let's continue. Look, free speech are out of order. As meetings grow wild, officials try to tame the public comment. So restricting you see little examples. It's restricting on what you can wear. Now they're already having talks about, free speech, or are you just being out of order? So this is going down when people are going to these, school board meetings and town hall meetings and stuff. And you be seeing these Edomites in there wilding out, going crazy. Now they're utilizing that as tools to start talking about free speech. So when the scriptures say that there's going to be a famine of the word, but a famine in the land, not of bread and water, but of the word. And Amos, what is it? Amos 8? Is it Amos? Yeah, I think it's this Amos 8. I think it's Amos 8. I don't want to misquote it. Yeah, famine. 8 and 11. So free speech or out of order. These are all things we got to take note of, because everything is always geared towards the men of the Lord. Prophesying against kingdoms, nations, as it says in Jeremiah 28 and the 9th verse. The women that are out here upholding themselves in all manners of modesty and virtuousness, being examples to, their households and to other women. That's all going to be a problem for this beast system as we continue on. Look at this. Adoptive gay couple who were charged with sodomizing their little sons also pimped them out to local men and sent out videos of them raping the boys. Full horror of mysteriously wealthy couples' sordid lives revealed in a jaw-dropping court document. Here they go. Look at the cute couple. Man, I'm about to throw up, man. All thanks to, slow Biden, Obama, legalizing these unions, allowing the pedophiles to run wild, America allowing them to adopt and take these kids in, pimping them out, raping and sodomizing them in the home, and then go out there and pimping them out to these damn weirdos over here in the top right hand corner. Let's get off of this, man. I mean, this is just the corruption. This is just the madness that's going on in the earth right now. We talked about this earlier. FAA finally admits a nationwide shutdown of the skies was caused by a contractor, quote, mistakenly deleting files. You see how easy everything can crash down when everything is centralized into a computer system and AI and bots and everything else. And there's always somebody who's programming that can be the one that can go ahead on and delete, take away, hack into. This back door is always open. And if y'all remember, on the 11th last week, they shut down they grounded all flights for a few hours because they lost communications. And then they are coming out saying, oh, it was a contractor that deleted some files. Sorry. This is what happens when everything's centralized and things get hacked into. It is what it is. Let's move on. Oh, the rich get richer, man. Follow the money. Fat Pharma. Moment. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla refuses to respond to questions about his $50 million pandemic salary and company profits triple. Big Pharma is big money. Read into it how you want to. You know I'm not going to expound on it because you know how they do me. But a $50 million salary he made off of the health crisis. And his company saw profits in the triplets. As they keep saying, order more, buy more. Make it mandatory. That's all I'm going to say about that. Follow the money. Arizona, our water tanks will be dry within days. Arizona City cuts off water to neighbors amid drought as desperate residents demand water now and count down until dwindling supply runs out. Can you imagine? But everything's fine. Slow Biden said, right? Imagine that. Here we have Arizona City, a city in Arizona getting ready to run out of water, rationing off water. Let me get this precept over here in Isaiah. Is it Isaiah? Let me see. Might be Jeremiah. I think it's Jeremiah. I want to make sure. No, it's 50. Jeremiah 50:38. Look what happens in Babylon, man. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon her idol. I mean, California, man, we suffered drought for years. And because we got that nice little rainfall the last couple of weeks, we got up out of it. But that they still saying that wasn't enough to sustain, any long-term, recovery. It's good for right now. But now it's still hitting the land. Still Babylon still suffering. You see Arizona going through it. People are being cut off. Rationing off water. Look at Psalms 107. A fruitful land into barrenness for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. So it's letting it be known. Hold on. Let's move up. So. He turneth rivers into a wilderness and the water springs into dry ground. So the Most High is the one who's going to bring forth this drought. He said he turns the rivers into a wilderness and the water springs into dry ground, a fruitful land into barrenness for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. You wonder why the drought is hidden. You wonder why, California, with all the manners of wickedness that it's been upholding. Arizona, so forth and so on. I mean, I've been to the reservations in Arizona, the Navajo and the Hopi reservations over there, man. Them people is destitute, living on dry land, dirt cheap, dirt patches, man, living way off, you know, hours out away from you know, civilization and whatnot. Only thing they got, some of them got trucks. They got some, you know, pickup trucks that they didn't got with a little reparations money. Other than that, man, people is jacked up over there. So land is barren and dried up, all because of the wickedness, man. And the Most High said it's going to continue. January 1st, Scottsdale stopped selling water to the neighboring area of the Rio Verde foothills, eliminating a water source of 1,000 people. Last week, residents of the foothills sued Scottsdale for cutting off a utility as families struggle to procure water to the power of their lives. Can you imagine? No shower, no washing dishes, no flushing the toilet. You dig what I'm saying? You have to find some water to drink. That's what they're dealing with over there. Let's continue on. Bad news for sushi fans. Eating just one freshwater fish, such as a salmon, a year is equal to a month of drinking water laced with, quote, forever chemicals linked to cancer. So now we're even seeing the fish are contaminated and jacked up. I mean, I don't know when Negroes started eating sushi, you know, really. I mean, these uppity niggas out here now, all of a sudden eating sushi with the pinkies up and chopsticks and everything else. When did Jay start eating sushi? And I see Jay's eating it too. Northern and Southern Kingdom eating sushi. What the heck? Northern and Southern eating sushi. I mean, unreal. Hosea 4, we're going to read verse 3. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Why? Because verse 1, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. This is why all will suffer. All will suffer. Now it said you eat one salmon. Eating just one freshwater fish, such as a salmon, a year. One freshwater fish, such as salmon, a year is equal to a month of drinking water laced with forever chemicals linked to cancer. So the fish is jacked up. God forbid you out there eating damn raw fish. We know as law in Israel, man, you shouldn't be eating nothing that's raw, uncooked. You understand? But now they even letting it be known. You eat that stuff, man, you could be getting cancer and got forever chemicals. It's like you've been drinking contaminated water for a whole year. You eat the fish now. It's unreal. This place is going down. Look at it. My people destroyed for lack of knowledge. 8 people shot at Martin Luther King Day event in Florida. Disturbing video shows aftermath of one victim in critical condition and the gunman still on the run. You know, Martin Luther the King. I'm sure he's rolling over in his grave right now. Remember that episode of Boondocks where Martin Luther King came back and seeing all of the damn stuff that Jakes was into that just put his whole mission to a shame as far as civil rights is concerned. And, you know, as much as he was misguided and didn't understand, he started learning and understanding after the fact. He even was quoted saying that he believes he led his people into a burning building. He started talking about the disparity of land ownership and how, you know, the so-called white man dupe Jakes out of their land and everything. He started becoming a little bit more active, a little bit more conscious, a little bit more on the side with Malcolm, and learning and understanding that, hey, it ain't about, you know, this great melting pot and everything else, man. My people really been done dirty, man, and I didn't set them up for failure. But Jeremiah, I think it's 23, where the Most High talks about the dreamer of dreams. If he dreamed a dream and it ain't come to pass, and you know he's a false prophet. So he said some false things that wasn't right. But he tried to make amends before what? He got assassinated. Very interesting. And what did the niggas do when You go to these parades, it ain't no different. They was doing the same thing out here. A couple years ago, there was a Martin Luther King parade. Man, Jace get to shooting and fighting. That's when all the little gangsters come out. They want to go hang out on the corners and go try to find some females and go look for some dirt and go look for some enemies and go look. That happened some years ago. Same thing. I don't remember if anybody got shot, but I remember Jakes definitely was getting it on, scrapping because we used to go out there teaching and passing out literature. Now I don't even know if they still doing the parades or not. I think they are. They still do, but it's so watered down and so turned down now. It's not even funny. But it's what Jakes do. It's why the Most High said the wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge in Jeremiah the 4th chapter. I think in the 22nd verse. Unbelievable. Another brother got killed by the police in Memphis. They haven't released the footage yet, but we know what happened. We'll see what goes on with that one. But for time's sake, we're going to wrap it up with a couple more. Oh, uh-oh. Seems like every week something's going on. Seems like something's going on every week. American Idol star C.J. Harris, cause of death revealed as a heart. Oh, what? A heart attack at only age 31? 9 years after finishing in 6th place on the show, C.J. Harris dies of a heart attack. Former American Idol star, 31. I wonder why. Shocking. We're not done. Oh, Chris Ford, the first player to hit a three-pointer in the NBA and the 3-time league champion with the Boston Celtics, has died at the age of 74 after 10 seasons as a player and another decade as a coach. Here he is over here next to Larry Bird. What happened to Chris Ford here? Let's see. Former NBA player and coach Chris Ford has passed away at the age of 74. Ford passed away in his native New Jersey from heart failure. Oh, what? Hold on. Let me read that again. Ford passed away in his native New Jersey from heart failure, per reports. He won 3 titles with Boston, 1 as a player, 2 as assistant coach. Ford served as head coach for Boston, Philly, Milwaukee, and the Clippers. Heart failure. Heart attack. Interesting. Indonesia gets rocked with another. You know where we're going with this. I'm gonna leave that alone. But every week, I'm looking for them stories too. I'm gonna bring them to y'all every week. So far, somebody's hitting the dirt, and it's all surrounding around that 4-chambered vessel that pumps blood in the body. Interesting. Indonesia got hit with another earthquake. 7.2. What manner of wickedness and evil is going on in Indonesia? I don't know, but the Most High is always rocking them to sleep. 7.6 last week, 7.2 this week. Earthquakes and uproars of the people. Imagine that. Imagine that. Something to think about. Something to think about, y'all. Right? So hopefully everybody got some yeah, Khan, that's right. I didn't even bring that out. Good one. Yeah, the cousin of the cousin Patrice Cullors, I believe her name is. Her cousin got tased to death by the police. I think I forgot what the date was. I just seen the video last week. You know, after him getting chased down and you know what they would consider him non-compliant. You know, they tased the brother down, and they hit him a good 5 times, and obviously, you know, that was enough to take him out. But you know, there's a lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. Yeah, good brother. You know, we don't do that. We don't do that. But the Negroes out here running around here learning the ways of the heathen, picking their chopsticks up and eating damn eel and raw fish and everything else that comes along the place with the damn Moabites and the Ammonites and the heathen. Love to think they cultured. Going over there, sitting down at Benihana's and eating that madness. I don't know if Benihana does sushi, but whatever. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, man. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, man. Hopefully everybody got some edification tonight, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Don't Shoot the Messenger. Episode 177, I believe. Man, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High while y'all outside, man. Y'all have a blessed Shabbat, man. Enjoy your evening, Lord willing. We'll be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, we're not gonna have a closing Sabbath at 3. We'll be having our new moon class. New moon class tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Pacific. Tap in with your brethren. Tap in with your brethren, man. Outside of that, man, y'all be well. Holler at y'all in the near future, man. Shalom.